Kickstarter is home to some great success stories, with the likes of Shovel Knight and Divinity Original Sin being made possible because of the platform. However, for every success story, there are many other stories with disastrous endings. Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at 10 of the biggest Kickstarter disasters.
No one knows what it really is. Some say it contains the secrets of the universe.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Aura Tactics. Aura Tactics was created by Douglas Miller and promised to be a tactical RPG with, quote, class swapping and asynchronous multiplayer. After initially asking for $5,000, over 800 backers pledged nearly double that, totaling to just over $11,500. After an update in January 2013 promising continued work, the team went radio silent, and many backers were left with numerous questions. That is, until Doug left a comment explaining that his team had been laid off from their jobs and were too busy looking for new work. He stressed that the game was not cancelled, but even now, 6 years later, it's still MIA, leaving backers completely in the dark. Rival Threads, Last Class Heroes. Last Class Heroes looked to be a promising game. It was advertised as an action RPG featuring stunning 2D visuals, and to their credit, the visuals did look pretty darn good. Over 680 backers raised nearly $25,000 for the project, but in April of 2014, an update was released declaring that the game was temporarily put on hold due to, quote, complications. And by temporarily put on hold, we think that they mean dead, because there has been nothing since. When reached out for comment by Kotaku, developer Leonardo Moller declared that the project became too ambitious for its own good, but that it was still coming. Well, we're waiting.
And thanks so much for watching. We can't wait for you to visit Vermilion Academy.
Unwritten, That Which Happened. That Which Happened apparently doesn't include this game. The dev team asked for $75,000 for the development of this randomly generated world about a tribe traveling to meet its god. And surprisingly, this goal was met, with over 2,000 backers raising $78,000. However, one of its developers ran into significant family health issues, and the project was put on hold as his time and energy were put into his family. While this is certainly understandable, backers are disappointed. And the whole team has been radio silent since 2014.
So why should you back Unwritten? You're gonna get quite a bit. You're gonna get a rich, exotic story.
Moonrift. Look, if you cancel a game, whatever, we'll get over it. But please, at least tell us that you're canceling the game. This retro-looking, randomly generated platform shooter was created by Sam Hutcher, and 5,000 backers helped raise just over $8,000 for it, $2,000 over its asking goal. Too bad the last update was in October 2013. In that time, an entirely new generation of consoles and games have been released. There have been no new updates regarding the development of the game, and the creator has all but disappeared off the face of the earth.
I want this game to really be what everybody wants. I want people to be excited for it. I want this to be the game that they want to play as well as the game that I want to play.
Takedown, Red Saber. In light of a lack of recent tactical squad-based shooters, in the vein of Rainbow Six or the SWAT games, Takedown was pitched on Kickstarter as a spiritual successor to those aforementioned titles by director Christian Allen, whose work prior to this game has covered numerous Tom Clancy titles. But it didn't seem to amount to much because what we got was an absolute mess.
Oh, you, rip, my palm, him bleeding out, I, da 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 da.
Visually, the game looked incredibly outdated, had numerous technical issues, and some incredibly unfair enemy AI. Then again, considering the game only raised $200,000, which isn't a lot as far as game budgets go, it's not surprising that the game felt pretty underwhelming.
I can tell you I don't have money. But what?
Shadow of the Eternals.
Please, mistress is for the regular staff. To you, my dear, I am Elizabeth. You and I need to talk.
Shadow of the Eternals was poised to be a spiritual successor to the GameCube cult favorite Eternal Darkness. And on top of it, it was being helmed by its original director, Dennis Dyack. Thing is, Dyack had been previously embroiled in a scandal involving mismanagement of X-Men Destiny, which ultimately led to his previous company, Silicon Knights, filing for bankruptcy, so backers were understandably hesitant.
Knowing that he knew it would ruin Silicon Knights, he also had a firm understanding, or at least an idea, that would also ruin my reputation. And to a certain extent, I think he was absolutely correct in that regard.
The first campaign only raised about $284,000, falling well short of its $1.5 million budget. After relaunching with a more modest goal of $750,000, the campaign fell on its face when it raised only half that amount. In 2018, during an interview with IGN, Dyack stated that the game wasn't cancelled, but not in development either. So, yay?
What did you see?
I saw a boy. And fire. A world falling apart.
Godus.
What is Godus? Imagine a world full of people that you have nurtured.
Good old Peter Molyneux. At least he's always good for some drama. Godus launched on Kickstarter in 2012, complete with promises of a living world and a significant multiplayer component. The project amassed large amounts of attention, and it went on to accumulate over 700,000. The game was released on Steam Early Access in 2013, and a full version came out for mobile the following year. But unfortunately for those backers, Godus was an enormous disappointment. The gameplay was fundamentally different, and the focus seemed to be put on the mobile release, which in itself was garbage, full of cliché mobile game tropes and microtransactions. In the end, it was a huge mess full of broken promises.
I just wanted to deliver the glory of the old days in a new format of today's world. And with your help, we can do that.
Clang.
Red goes back into Iron Gate. The attack star changes to remind Red that there are only 2 possible angles of attack he can use from that position, plus a direct thrust, which is the target in the middle of the little man's body.
Clang had enormous amounts of promise. Too bad it amounted to an enormous amount of regret. Science fiction writer Neil Stephenson took to Kickstarter to back his new project, a video game centered around realistic sword fighting. The project had over 9,000 backers behind it, who pledged a total of $526,000. However, after some initial disappointment regarding its delays, Stephenson announced its cancellation in September 2014, claiming insufficient funds and significant personal financial loss. Many people were left upset and without refunds, and many pledged to never back another Kickstarter project again.
Got a lot of people out there who like to play games with sword fighting in them, who might be ready to step it up to something a little bit more interesting.
Yogventures.
That money was for the development of the game! Simon! Yeah. I was hungry!
Yogventures was set to be an open-world game with the likeness of YouTubers Lewis Brindley and Simon Lane from the Yogscast, a gaming channel devoted to Minecraft, World of Warcraft, and Grand Theft Auto, among others. Due to their dedicated fanbase, a ridiculous $567,000 was raised for the development of their video game, a video game which, surprise, never came to fruition. The project was abruptly cancelled in July 2014, and backers were given access to a different game called Tug instead of a refund.
Instead of just boxes, these boxes turn into like these nice rolling hills and beautiful like landscapes and stuff.
Mighty Number 9.
Wait, what?
While the initial intentions were pure, with Mega Man's original designer Kaiji Inafune pushing for this project due to Capcom doing nothing with the Blue Bomber, it ultimately crashed and burned when it came to execution. Despite raising $3.8 million for the project, the game's updates made backers lose faith thanks to the direction the game was heading in. Notably, the game's graphics look woefully inadequate to the original concept design, the project was hit with multiple delays, and there's this infamous quote from the Masterclass trailer.
And make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Of course, this could have all been forgiven if the game was actually good. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was dull, uninspired, and plagued with technical issues. But hey, at least we got Mega Man 11 out of all of this.
It's no use, Meg. He's too far gone.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.